Frontier Scum is a game about wanted outlaws making their mark on a lost frontier by Carl Druid. It says acid Western role playing. So, yes, this is a very interesting book. I love the way it's put together. As you can see, it's got a very thick cardboard cover here. As you can see, very, very nice. There's the back, but more importantly, there's the spine, which I was very surprised to see. That is an exposed spine, which I've never seen before in a book, but it's holding up well, and it gives it a unique kind of Wild West look to it. So, very neat. It definitely stands out against other books. And overall, the look of the book is very, very good. Now, the PDF, I'll have the link down in the description for, but unfortunately, and fortunately for them, for Carl Druid himself there, this first batch completely sold out quick, and they're making a second print run of it because it's highly sought after by people. So I'll have the link for that too down in the description, and hopefully if you like it, you can pick it up if you want this physical copy, which I suggest just because it's so unique. So yes, a game about wanted outlaws making their mark on a lost frontier. It is a system inspired by Merc Borg. The only thing I can see that's a little bit different, it's got some different names for some abilities, is that it has advantage and disadvantage, and that's not just for your normal die, it could be on anything else. Advantage and disadvantage on whatever you're rolling. So here is the table of contents, and of course, it has got a great Wild West catalog newspaper look to it throughout the whole book, which I absolutely love. And it's definitely the way to go. I love the font. It works perfectly with it. And this is going to start off by telling you a bunch about the setting that he's created. And this is a setting that is what you would expect from a Wild West Merc Borg inspired game. So this place is very dilapidated. It's very corrupt. There's the incorporation that controls everything. Everybody pretty much lives in dirt and slop. It's very dreary. There's some unique locales. This one's got some ghouls that attack graves. But yeah, it's what you expect. It's not extremely unique or thinking outside really the bubble. It's very flowery writing, which is actually very good. No one would mistake this for actual newspaper writing from any type of person back then. But it is really well written. But it's just a dismal setting, which you would expect from an inspired game by Merc Borg. But look at that. It just looks fantastic. And there's a lot of men that are obviously very corrupt, murderous, trying to vie for power, and all that you know oh too well. And then here's the map. Very cool. It's got days, how long it takes you to get to someplace. And they're doubled if you're on foot, or they are quartered if you are by train. So that's very nice. A name generator here, which you can create some colorful names for your characters. And then how you play, you start to make your character. You've got grit, slick, wits, and luck. All of them very important. You're going to roll up some traits. You're going to be wanted. You're going to have a background that gives you skills. You're going to roll a bonus skill and a bonus item. You're going to get a couple of items for like a drink, a canteen, and some silver. A stolen horse. Roll for your gun. Describe your hat and keep it close. It may save your life. And then roll, choose, or invent a name for yourself to the left. And the GM says what happens next. So you are an outlaw scum. And you'll roll up and you'll say you've got an artist's soul or a stubborn personality. And you're going to roll over here. It's going to say you're beset by fleas or you've got clammy hands. So give your character a little bit of texture to them. And then you're wanted. So are you dead or alive? Wanted dead or alive? Are you just wanted dead or just wanted alive? For the crime of, which you will roll up, horse smuggling, or hired burglary, or gruesome grave robbing. And the reward is your total result multiplied by 10. So all that very quickly is already create a very colorful character and background for your character. Love these two pages here. Always love when you get to see the nice tastiness of different cuts of meat. You're going to roll up a background. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to be a suffering clerk. A skill from that time you got locked in a vault after closing, or acted the director's scapegoat, or had to fight an angry depositor, skimmed a little silver off the top. So you have to generate a skill off of what happened. That can be slightly challenging. And then you're going to get some items right there. So that looks very good. But to help you with those skills is this. You'll get a bonus skill. So you'll roll D66, and it says you were dragged from behind your horse. So maybe the example skill is calm horses, plank surfing, or dodge cacti. So that's kind of maybe a skill that you have. So while they're not like blacksmithing and, animal handling. They're more abstract, and you're going to have to come up with some of those. Use this to help you come up with something from what happened to you here in the background. You've got bonus items you start off with, like this. If you roll up a bottle, you roll another D8 and see what that bottle is. So that's what that does. Different types of horses you can get, their personalities or what they like. Different checks for when you're trying to do stuff like steer a wagon or staying in the saddle. Name for your horse. Here's a very easy encumbrance where you can carry stuff in your pockets, on your belt, on your back, or on your horse, with items taking up a certain amount of slots on those. What gun do you have? Some guns explode with the max damage. If you roll a 1 on any of your damage dice, you lose an item slot's worth of ammunition of that type. You can, before rolling damage, you can lose your hat to block all damage from a single attack. When picking it back up, check luck to see if it survived. So obviously giving a lot of weight to how great your hat is, and you better keep your hat with you because it's might save your life, like they say. So it does have ability checks, exactly the same kind of DRs, but you do get advantage and disadvantage for certain situations. You've got something called Ace in the Sleeve. You get one at the start of every session, and you can spin an ace to reroll any die that's not a natural 1 or 20. If you roll a natural 20 on ability check, choose between learning a skill or gaining an ace. And I would think that learning a skill would be something that you're currently doing. But everyone immediately loses all their aces when any PC rolls a natural 1 on ability check, so you're going to be cursing out your friend when he or she steals your ace. So rules for reactions, morale, NPCs don't roll, the quick and the dead, very easy initiative, much like Merkborg. But here's something that's very interesting. So it says on a turn you can move and take an action. When you do it, you're going to do this. When an enemy does it, you'll check this. So it's all very normal, but when you go down here to shoot a gun, it says you hit. And when it says when the enemy does it, you're hit. Well, don't panic, because they have this thing called tough shots. So it's going to determine whether or not the shot is tough or not. And it's going to be stuff like visibility, if it's a small item, are they moving fast, is the shooter distracted, is it a rifle and at good range? Sometimes a shotgun is better at hitting moving targets. So more than likely, most of your shots will be tough. If you just walk up to a guy in a saloon playing poker, you can just shoot him. There shouldn't really be a roll. So that is how the tough shot works. And you're going to be checking luck to avoid being hit, making luck obviously an important stat. Wrestling, here's conditions. Miserable is very cool. It's an overall blanket effect that makes it so that you do not heal from resting. So when you do rest, you can, like, after a scuffle, you can heal D4 hit points, +1 for each smoke, drink, or nap. So I like those kind of extra things that help boost and give flavor to the setting. Like until morning, you can heal 1 HP for each sleep, food, or entertainment that you have. And you heal twice as much in the comfort with good beds, good food, good drink, and good company. I really like those rules. And miserable is just a catch-all. So if you are cold, tired, you're hungry, whatever, you are miserable. And so you don't heal. So I really like that kind of just blanket effect. Here's rules for intoxication. These are really smart. So the first time you become drunk, you swap 2 random abilities. So it could be luck and grit. This lasts until you sleep it off or sober up. Mark those abilities, and in the future, you're going to swap the same 2 every time you get drunk. So I really like how all of a sudden a big dude can become a big, pretty much a wimp and pushover. Maybe he cries a bunch or whatever when he gets drunk. I really like that. Rules for the different healing items. Checking to whether or not you're going to die whenever you go down in hit points. And there is a way that whenever you roll a natural 20 for this check, you could get a second win and heal D4, plus increase your max hit point by 1. So there is a slight little shining light in the gloom of going down. You've got Scum on the Trail, so you can pretty much hunt and forage and fish. Here's a list of games, small, medium, and large. You can get a certain amount of, you can test luck. You check wits, actually, and roll D8 plus luck for the game type. You can usually harvest a silver value and rations equal to the beast hit points. So very cool to have that in those 2 quick stages. And of course, consuming raw food, unboiled water, you have to check grit or become miserable with food poisoning. How to deal with shady dealings and fencing stolen items. Here's some services and items like that, like saloon and hotel, and then cigarettes. And then here's a bunch of people. So bandits, bar scum, bounty hunters, charlatans, city folk. And then down here we've got ghouls, and they've got infected gums. And this is kind of like the only critter here that I would think that was like it's a monster. So there's not any other like listings here for any other type of monster. So when you're playing this or you get it, you're like, well, is this a Weird West game? And yes, it's a Weird West game. They just don't give you a whole bunch of monsters in this people section or another section that's just for monsters. There are some in the adventure that's in the back, which I will be spoiling here in a second. So it's just, I would have liked to have seen a page just in case, because hey, if you want monsters in your game, here's some stats for some monsters, including the one they put in the adventure. That would have just been, I think, that would have been nice to have in case you want to weird up your Frontier Scum game. And I'm not exactly sure what the exact scope of what the game is trying to do, but with the adventure, yeah, there's some monsters and stuff in it. So I would have liked to have had just like werewolves, vampires, whatever, undead, zombies, whatever you got. Here's the thing for carousing, going on a bender. So you enter a saloon, you notice something. Pretty much, if you make money from the nights, there's some rolls and stuff, you're going to find out what you won or what you lost if you came in there with less money. And there's some cool things you roll here on a d20 to see exactly what happens. Maybe you lost in a bar fight, got wounded, a banker with more silver than you stopped by the saloon, you made a profit and a powerful enemy, but it increases every PC's bounty by 100 silver. But what if you go in the negative? So here's somebody that now you owe. It could be a bunch of gangs like the Teary-Eyed Gang, the Outlaw Union, Mangrove Stubbs, and of course I love the Incorporated Bank with its gibberish of financial bullcrap there. So that's very clever as it runs off the page. Again, great art. And then we've got the Oregon Rail. Of course, that's very funny. I'll be spoiling this, so don't watch the rest of this part here in case you might play it. So you're wanted, you're going to Fort Gullet, you're going to be hanged for your crimes, so you better try to get out of this situation. What's going on the rail? Why do you think it's called that? What's happening outside if you try to jump on top of the cars? There could be hot air or sudden movement or these blood vultures that try to kill you. And so that's what I was saying, like, you've got these, but there's no, like, section for monsters. I would have liked to have seen, just a brief section that had a couple monsters and stuff in it. And then you've got, this is the layout pretty much, and this is very smart. Obviously, it keeps the Merkborg feel and design of the layout for each car. So you got the prison car, it tells you how it is, sauna hot, smelling of sweat and worse. It's got your highlighted, points of interest, and then it's got your stat for your, like the guard here. As you can see, this is very cool, helps you keep track of where you are. This is the prison car. There's 9 more prison cards behind you, and then each of these cars going forward. So here's the mess. This is the barracks car, then ahead is going to be the mess car. This cool car here, you're going to have to whisper in that room and see if the PCs catch on. And if you don't talk if you talk without whispering, something's going to happen or not. So I think that's very clever. And it's going to continue on like that with some cool art down here as you continue forward towards the engine car and encountering some critters and some people. As I'm not going to spoil all the actual storyline of this, with some stuff going on. The lab car, the sweet car. You're starting to see some more Stranger Things. This dude's got like a crocodile jaw, and this guy's got the ears of a rat, and he's got a cougar's legs and arms. So something's obviously happening. You got the gun car, and you're starting to get some real weird critters here, as you can see. The blob, harpy, the bear. So very neat. I really like how they did this with the car going forward. As you go and you finally meet this terrible heart that's in the car before the engine car. So the engine right there. And then you're going to says epilogue how to spend 10,000 silver. This is some good kind of adventure plot hooks there for after this. And then if you've got some odd jobs when you need to make some more coin, here's some cool things again. Again, you roll D66, and maybe you're chopping wood or you're carrying rocks. Here's opportunities when you need to make a few more coins, selling, forging, smuggling, burglarizing. And then here's bounties when you need to make a lot of coin. If you want to go after each one of these individual turds who have got a bounty on their head, dead or alive. So that's actually very cool. I like that a lot. If you are scavenging a home of the living, what maybe you roll up in a display cabinet or a locked case. If you're pickpocketing somebody. Here's some stuff to roll up. So again, great tables. If you're tomb robbing, and then if you found something strange, maybe a jar or urn or jewelry or a weapon or one card from Ancient Bone. And then you've got your overall rules reference sheet here that has everything you need to help run it. So very, very cool. And then there's the back. So overall, Frontier Scum is really good. It was actually something that I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really think it was going to be that impressive. I guess I didn't, not that I didn't think it was going to be impressive. I said, oh, it's just going to be kind of a throwaway product or whatever. But this is really well made. I had to kind of say, all right, I'm going to eat a little crow here and be like, this is very impressive. The way it looks, the feel of it. I wasn't exactly sure if it was trying to be Weird West or not. That's, I guess, kind of up to you. Very easy to make creatures, and of course you could use some from Merkborg or other of the many, many supplements to use for Frontier Scum out of Merkborg. It's really good. It looks great. You know, if you want to jump into some kind of, it says acid Western role-playing, this is definitely what you want to check out. With a cool setting, granted, not extremely something you're not going to be like, wow, that's really amazing. It's more like, yeah, this is a real crappy place. And you wouldn't expect anything different from something inspired by Merkborg. So there it is. Very cool product, Frontier Scum. Hopefully they'll get that new printing out quick for people to be able to pick it up. And I hope they make more stuff from it with this caliber of production value, as it's very high. So there you go, Frontier Scum. Check it out. Like and subscribe. Share it to your friends. We're almost close to 1,000 subscribers, so let's get there. And thank you to everybody that has recently subscribed. I really appreciate you watching my videos and look forward to making another one for you.